Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode and edition of the Mojo Market Report, coming to you live from Shop Studios in Matawan, New Jersey, here on a Thursday. It is Thursday, April the 13th, 2023. And of course, it is Dave Sturchio. It is Chris Gueci on the other side of the planet. And we are here to drive another vehicle known as the Mojo Market Report. We got a lot to get into today because obviously last night, two more play-in games happened last night. The 9s versus the 10s games. They delivered, absolutely delivered. Obviously the first one more than the second one. But two incredible games. Friday matchups are set. We'll get into that. We have some NFL news finally. Some interesting stuff coming out of New York with Saquon Barkley. So we'll get into all that. But first, obviously, two people still alive right now, and they're moving on. And that is one, the Chicago Bulls, who defeated the Toronto Raptors 109-105.
I'm having one of those allergy attacks.
That's good. The Bulls were down.
It's like, guys, don't mind me. I'm going to start sobbing over here soon.
It is emotional stuff. It is very emotional stuff.
Love the Bulls.
The Bulls are so good. It's just historic.
Bro, I'm trying to fight back a sneeze or like.
I did that yesterday. Remember, I was like,
I'm caught between letting this one rip or fighting it back, and I have no choice on either right now. It's just
there's a trick. A couple of people taught me a trick. If you just like
no,
hold your nose.
If you just press your tongue on the roof of your mouth as hard as you can, sneezes go away. Yeah, but you might puncture the roof of your mouth.
Oh, don't do that. Anyway, the Bulls down 19 at one point, come all the way back. Unbelievable game out of DaMar DeRozan's daughter. Actually, did you see this, by the way? DaMar DeRozan's daughter.
Dave, don't do me
I'm
like
sorry.
that, bro.
All right.
Don't
Sorry.
do me like that, bro.
All right. Headlines were made last night.
Okay. I read the tweet, or I read the Bleacher Report update.
Okay. So what had happened was every time the Toronto Raptors were about to shoot a free throw, DaMar DeRozan's daughter was in the third row of behind the court and screamed like she was being chased by Freddie Krueger? Yes, I was looking for his last name. Freddie. I was going to say Freddie Freeman. He's scary too. But yeah, so she screamed on top of her lungs. They missed like 18 free throws last night. No BS. Like, that was like, I'm like, okay. DaMar DeRozan's daughter is on the team. DaMar DeRozan, goes for 23 points. He hits his over if you're a liquid prop guy last night. It was set at 22.65. He goes over by a point, so good for you guys. Make some money. I did put some money on Fred VanVleet last night. He does go over as well, but the Raptors fall short. I don't know how you let a team come all the way back like this, but like you said last night, yesterday on the show, you're a big Zack LaVine guy. He goes out there and just balls out. 39 points last night in a showing. Just an incredible game out of the Bulls. I mean, look, they were rode off in this game. Absolutely rode off in this game. And then they just come storming back.
Yeah, I mean, the Bulls and the Heat's a fairly good matchup because they're both, they slow it down a little bit. Interested to see that one. If I catch it, we'll see. I'm going to have to tune in. What time is the game tomorrow?
Probably early. There's probably an early window and a late window. I'll look right now. But the Bulls scored 37 points in the fourth quarter. Like, they just absolutely went ham, and that's what you got to do in a game like this. They outscored them by 13 points in the fourth quarter alone, so that's huge. But, yeah, checking out the schedule right now. If you look at Friday, the Bulls will kick off the night at 7 o'clock on TNT at Miami. You think they have a little bit of a chance? You all right over there?
I'm not, bro. It's crazy.
You think they have a little bit of a chance against – with the momentum now behind them, the Heat coming off the loss, obviously, who had a chance to get into the playoffs.
I don't know. Jimmy Butler said, we're going to play better.
Well, no, they were going to basically going to completely flip the script. Yeah, you won't see that team again.
I'm going to take Jimmy's word for it. It's the playoffs. He usually delivers on his word. So the Heat, it's got to be the Heat, bro. They're the better team. That's what we want to see in the postseason. And they're the team that I think can win a 7-game series. Not that they're going to, but the Bulls have no shot. And not that the Heat have a shot either, but defensively, coach-wise, and
you're talking about to make a run. Yeah, the Bulls, I don't look at the Bulls as a championship-bred team right now.
Neither of these teams are making a run. I'd say that if there was a team that could catch lightning in a bottle, it would be the Heat based on playoff experience, but they don't have the roster for it right now.
All right. Another team moving on are the Oklahoma City Thunder. OKC gets the big win last night. Again, phenomenal game out of them, 123-118. You want to talk about a team effort, man. OKC really delivered. They absolutely balled out again, as always. SGA, we said it yesterday. He could take over a game, and he did that. In fact, he scored 32 points. Josh Giddey goes for 31. Dort goes for 27. You got 3 guys over 25 points apiece. That's incredible. That's incredible. Like
Stock is up on Giddey and SGA, that's for sure. And
this
Dort.
team, I mean, look, I understand. Like, first of all, to give you a little recap on 2 guys I didn't hit on. Brandon Ingram, I thought for sure, he would score. I missed it by a point. So I mean, that's one of those really
could only
sick
hit 30.
burns. Yeah, the scrub only scored 30 points.
So look at the Thunder going forward next year. That's one of the most exciting teams in the league to keep your eye on, because they got
Chet
these
back,
3
right?
young stars, and then Chet Holmgren, who honestly could be their best player. We just don't know. He could be their best player for all we know, in terms of the skill sets he's bringing. And I've seen a couple pictures of him of late.
Is he thicken up?
I mean, that's a stretch to say him and thick in the same sentence at all, but he is a little bit bigger. We'll say.
Okay.
He's definitely put on some weight, which you want to see going into the NBA. It's almost a blessing, maybe, that he got this little foot thing.
Yeah, I mean, truth
when
be
you're
told,
7-footer and you got a lower half injury, that's not really the best in the world.
well, truth be told, when you have a lower half injury and you begin the rehab, the first thing that the doctors clear you, and I would know all about this, is upper body. So therefore,
you're a 7-footer.
I'm not a 7-footer. I'm a 6'1". But what I will say is, when I went down with an ACL, the first thing the doctor's like, yeah, you can do upper body for the first couple months. You get thicker. You just get a.
And Dave was like, deal.
Done. And guess what?
So
that was
don't do legs?
2014. That means no more
The doctor
legs.
told me not to do legs,
Top
bro.
heavy. But anyway, yeah, so I'm excited about OKC. I'm excited about their chances to take down the Wolves. The Wolves obviously get back Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
You know what I did? I went touch the mics. Rudy Gobert.
I thought you were doing what Kyle Anderson was doing at the end of the Lakers game when he kicked it in the backcourt and turned it over.
No.
What do you think Gobert was saying to himself?
Did you see the video, by the way?
Wherever he was. I thought he was in the
Did you see the actual video and when they panned back to where Gobert went after that shove or punch or whatever that called that?
No.
He punched him and ran for the hills.
He didn't punch him.
He straight body checked him with his fist. I don't know what do you call that.
Honestly, the Timberwolves should be ashamed of themselves for suspending him that game yesterday or 2 days ago. Ashamed of themselves. I do not want to hear it. The fans did not deserve that. You need to put your guys out there. It's the postseason. Just don't sign them. Do whatever it is that you got to do. Trade them in the offseason, let it go. But right now, it's like, what are you really doing? What are you proving, bro?
Yeah, you need
proving?
You need that. You need
Give
that
me
star
a
player.
break.
And listen. Truth be told, he gets back 9:30 tomorrow night, ESPN, them and OKC. I like them to play a much better game than they played in round 1 or game 1. But I do like the momentum that OKC is carrying into this game. SGA has absolutely turned a complete corner in his career throughout the entire year, and all of a sudden
he's a beast.
we got something. I mean, he is him, is what they say in the streets. The kids say that all the time. All right, so that's the NBA. They got their schedule set for tomorrow night. Tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll preview the entire first round series, pick a champion, kind of give you a preview of what we think might go down. But obviously, we won't know those 2 final teams going in, but we can make our assumptions. All right, dude, can we wait till tomorrow? Can we wait till tomorrow? Anyway, let's get to the NFL because
I didn't pick my winner.
This is true. You didn't do that. All right, so we have some news in New York, okay? Now, I don't know, let's use Tony Pollard as an example. Tony Pollard was franchise tagged by the Cowboys. Now, what the player has the option to do is, A, play on that franchise tag, meaning he has to sign the franchise tag and then play on the 1-year deal. What the New York Giants decided to do was pay their quarterback $40 million a year for 4 years, $160 million, right? And they franchise tagged their running back, Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon Barkley has chosen, according to reports yesterday, to not sign the franchise tag. He needs that new deal. I know we've always been pro player, but is this a bad move in a running back market that's not as lucrative as it once was?
All right.
How much more can you possibly make?
I have several different opinions about several different aspects of this. One, I just want to give myself my flowers on this one because I said it in about week 3 when the Giants were playing a little bit better than people expected, and it was Daniel Jones, and they were winning football games. But it was really all Saquon. And I said, well, Daniel Jones is going to get paid, Saquon's going to get tagged, and Daniel Jones owes Saquon the money because Saquon's that entire offense.
You did say that.
Right? And look, here we are. The Giants are right to be doing what they're doing. Saquon will end up playing on the franchise tag, but he won't be there all camp. And if Saquon really has the cojones to actually sit, then the Giants' season is over. it's over, guys, because Saquon was their entire offense last year. They didn't really do much on the receiver position. So what's really going to happen with?
I think they pieced it together again. They brought a lot of like role playing guys.
They pieced it together again. So basically, they don't have receivers again. That's what you're telling me.
I
right?
mean, that's from what I gather.
Saquon will lead the team in catches if he's there next year. Odds are.
You would think.
Right. So Saquon's your entire offense. Daniel Jones is a solid player. I like what he brings to the table in terms of his, his stick-to-itiveness, we'll say, because I don't think he's.
So right now, just giving you an idea of what Daniel Jones can throw to: Isaiah Hodgins, Paris Campbell, Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, Jamison Crowder.
Where we're left right here is like Saquon is clearly more valuable than the franchise tag, but Saquon has had some injury history.
Yeah, of course. It's the biggest thing you have to worry about when it comes to signing this guy long term.
Coupled with the fact that he's had injury history, he's coming off of a season where he had a lot of usage. The last time Saquon had this much usage, he didn't play for 2 years after that, basically. So I'm hard-pressed to give a running back a big deal because you see what happened in Dallas. Saquon isn't going to take a 2-year deal. He wants a 4-year deal probably. And my estimation is that's just not good business. The GMs around the league, most of them just won't break. I think that the team has all the leverage.
When it comes to running backs.
Yeah, when the team has all the leverage in this situation when it comes to the franchise tag situation. The only leverage Saquon has is he's be like, fine, it's just you guys are going to stink next year because I'm not playing. But then there's a risk there as well for Saquon because you're missing out on $10 million. But then you'll probably just get transitioned the following year, and then you got to either do the same thing again. So there's not like there's an easy out here. Saquon has no leverage. He'll end up playing under the tag, but he won't be there until
the Giants' running back room right now behind Saquon Barkley is in fact Matt Breida. He's a journeyman. He's been playing. He's played at San Fran. He's played, I think, a little in Buffalo, and here he is now with the Giants. And look, the Giants have a very big decision to make. Now, if you're the Giants GM and you have this threat looming, right? If you're Joe Shane, right? If he's the guy making all the decisions, and you got to get Brian Daboll a running back.
So when they are saying $2.3 million in cap space, that's under the
impression that he would sign the franchise
that
tag.
he's already under the right. So that money's already accounted for. So that yes, it would help a lot with the cap space if they were to get a deal done. The Giants would then get that $10 million pretty much off the books because they would all year one would be a signing bonus probably.
Yeah, they can. So I'm sure there's ways to finagle it. They would actually
have then $13 million because that $10 million or whatever 11 will be off the
If
books.
they don't decide to do this, where do the Giants go? Because I mean, like you just signed your quarterback. You're expecting him to do big things. Now look, and this goes back to the age-old conversation. Once you pay your quarterback, how else can you allocate your funds? If they don't have a running back and they haven't done nothing in
I have an idea.
Don't you dare.
Leonard Fournette.
Oh, okay.
Or Zeke.
No, Zeke.
No, nobody
Zeke
wants
was pictured
Zeke,
yesterday working out with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb at the Dak Yard. Do you get it? The Dak Yard? Backyard. It's at his house.
I feel like he's
the Dak Yard.
Is he 9 years old?
He's pushing 30. He's pushing 30.
Yeah, we had that, when we used to shovel snow and make a fort in my but I was 9.
Did you call it the Chris Fort?
I don't even know what I called it.
No, listen. If you're the Giants right now, you have a massive decision to make because I don't know if this happens and he decides, nah, I'm not doing it. There's no way. I need security, blah, blah, blah. What a running back should do, right? I'm not telling them not to do it. Like, come on, man, just sign the franchise tag. You can do it. These guys got to look after their future. If he doesn't do it, you just said the Giants season's over. Are you playing the prevent defense right now? Are you going out there right now and trying to sign a running back right now, just in case?
No, I'm not because
there is the Kareem Hunts of the world out there. There is Leonard Fournette.
There's nobody that's coming in on less than a 1 or more than a 1 year deal out of the guys you just named. Like the Giants aren't going to give a 2 year deal.
Fine,
but there's not much room right there when they only have $2.3 million in cap.
Yeah.
Then to deliver the message saying, "Hey, we don't really need you," and because that's what that would do. Like they have but also I think with the nature of the league. There's nobody signing a running back until after the draft at this point. There's no way. So
right, the draft is right here.
They have some time to wait on a vet running back. I don't think that's like those options aren't running out anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, you would assume with the draft being 3 weeks away from literally tonight, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks away from tonight.
It would be
3 weeks, 2 weeks.
It would be an embarrassment to a franchise right now if they signed one of these aging veterans while there's a plethora of running backs available in the draft coming up.
I mean, you got to see where you wind up. I mean, you might have somebody late third round. that just, he's on your draft board and you take
and
him.
if we're really being serious about it, there's probably some options out there that you could get on day 2 or 3.
That's what I just said.
Well, I wasn't
Third
here
round.
for it. I'm not talking about draft. I'm talking about like trade for a player on day 2 or 3 because there's veterans out there on teams
it's
that
a possibility,
are in salary
sure.
cap situations where you could be like, okay, we'll sign you to a 2-year deal because there's guys like that around there.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook gets a clean bill of health. Don't expect to see him in Minnesota.
You would have,
They're talking like they might blow it up because the new coaching staff is.
Don't you think? But the Minnesota Vikings, don't you think they're right there technically?
Do you really think that they're even really close?
They're a playoff team last year. What's the difference? You're right there. Your defense stunk.
On again, off again. But their defense stunk, and to me, they got worse.
But you want to talk about strike while the iron's hot? Like the Packers are not going to be the Packers from last year. Neither the Lions are on the come up. The Bears are signing everybody under the sun. You got to strike now.
Look at their salary cap situation. It might be the worst in the league.
The Vikings?
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
they have the least amount of money. They're in peril right now. They need to make something happen.
Well, let's see here. According
They got
to
Justin Jefferson coming up.
They are, in fact, the worst team as far as cap space is
Justin
concerned.
Jefferson is
they
due.
have $1.4 million
You're gonna
left
let
on the
Justin
cap.
Jefferson go because you can't. Because
You cannot do that.
it makes no sense for Kirk Cousins.
The Giants are right there, at third to last.
For
so.
Kirk Cousins, you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like the Giants are in a bad spot.
Well,
too.
that's why I think the Vikings are in the market to possibly be that team to trade up and get an Anthony Richardson.
Boom. But they got
But
to
does that indicate to you that if they trade up and get a quarterback, whether it be Richardson or maybe like the 10th pick and they just take a gamble on Hooker or
If
whatever,
they take a quarterback in the first round, that means that
they're blowing it up?
they have no choice at this point because if they're close, if what you're thinking is that they're close, I understand that there's
I
been
don't
teams that have
necessarily
been
mean
close and they take
close.
a quarterback if they fall to them, but let's be realistic here. Are they going to get over the hump with Kirk Cousins without being able to do anything else right now? Are they going to run the risk of not being able to give Justin Jefferson the biggest contract in history for a receiver?
They have $13.5 million in dead money for the Adam Thielen move.
What are they doing next year? What's coming off the books? Anything?
Well, I'll tell you right now, as of right now, the cap numbers that I see that stand out, clearly this year, the cap number for Kirk Cousins is $20 million. Brian O'Neill is 19.6. Zadarius Smith, your boy, 15.4. Dalvin Cook is 14.1.
I feel like Darius Smith, what's the cut situation on that? I feel like he's going to get cut.
Zadarius Smith on a dead money on a savings cut pre-June 1 would be cap savings of $7 million if they cut him. Post-June 1st cut would be...
Because they might be waiting on that one.
8. So you save about $1 million more post-June 1st. So wait, yeah. Hang on, buddy. But yeah, so that's... But yeah,
so they'll have a little bit more money to
it looks like the Vikings are in trouble as far as
the Vikings need to make something... They need to make something crafty happen. They need to maybe move off of Kirk Cousins. If in fact they're going to draft a quarterback, are they going to keep him to groom him? Then you're saying, look, we don't need a piece for the defense that was clearly available at that point, right? They're going to trade up.
And they were a rough defensive team last year.
What are they going to trade up? More draft capital for a team that's in salary cap hell? That's kind of what they need right now is draft capital. So I don't know. The Vikings, everybody says the roster looks good, but to me it says the defense got a little bit worse. Their offense has been good for a while. Thielen's gone. So could they be a little bit worse?
They got Hawkinson.
Their defense is garbage, and it's been for quite some time. So until I see that turnaround, I can't buy in on the Vikings as being a real contender.
Looking at the current depth chart of the Minnesota Vikings, obviously Cousins, Cook, Jay Jetta, KJ Osborne season it has to happen. We'll see. TJ Hawkinson at tight end. They do have a good offense. I think their offense is good. Then you flip over to the 3-4 defense that they have right now, and you're looking around, and I guess the best guy you have is Harrison Smith.
Yeah, but he's been their best guy for 41 years.
Right.
When's it going to end for him?
I don't know. Look, yeah, the Vikings are in trouble. So we'll see what happens with the Vikings over the course of the next couple of weeks because they're in the cap situation now. The Giants are obviously in a situation now where they have to either A, may have a backup plan, B, figure something out in the running back department because if you don't have a Saquon Barkley on your roster come September when that season starts, you are in trouble. You cannot rely on Daniel Jones to get it all done. I could say the same thing about Dak Prescott. He needed a Zeke and a Pollard last year for him to at least have the success that he had. And obviously the turnover was, whatever. But in any event, That's a
I mean,
show.
we all watched the games last year. The Giants need Saquon.
They do. They
Point
do.
blank.
Really quick, touching on a couple other sports before we get out of here. In the NHL, in case anybody cares, as Chris checks out, the Islanders, the Devils, and the Rangers all in the playoffs. That hasn't happened, I feel like, in quite some time. So they're in, all three teams. The Penguins, ready for this? And a 16-year streak of making the playoffs. They are not making the postseason this year in the NHL. So sorry, Crosby. Sorry, Malkin. Sorry, all you. I hate the Penguins. They've been a thorn in my side for 16 years.
We meant to say Canadians.
Huh?
Sorry, all you Canadians.
No, they're not all Canadian. Most of them are. Not all of them.
Russian?
A little bit, sure.
I think that's what they were, right?
Crosby's American. So Crosby.
Sidney Crosby's Canadian.
Yeah.
I would say.
If you
that.
nailed that and I don't.
Bro, I don't know any American boys named Sidney.
I mean, let's see here. A.
Canadian. Come on, bro.
Sid the Kid.
From Canada.
Ah, yes, he's from Canada. How did I not know that? Wow, he definitely played for Team Canada. Like, what am I talking about here? Oh, boy. Good thing. This is why you don't bring up the NHL here on the Mojo Market Report, because there's just not enough good information to go around. When I say good, I mean accurate. So, did you see, by the way, again, before we get out of here, did you see the Rays, 12-0?
Yeah.
If they go 13-0, it'll be the best start since 1900. That's incredible. How do you win that many baseball games? And of course, the Yankees being the Yankees, they're when you look at their record, you're like, nice, 8-4 start. They're looking good. They're like 4 games behind the Rays right now. It's like, holy hell.
It's a week. It's a series.
I understand, but the Rays are always that scrappy little team that always put it all together. Every year with a payroll of about as much as me and Chris make here at Chop. So their payroll is, but yet they keep piecing it together. So
Major League Baseball money here, baby.
yeah, exactly. All right, follow us right now on the Instagram, the Twitter, and the TikTok at Mojo, MOJO. Very easy to find us. You can also join the Discord over there for Mojo, because that is where you're going to find out all of your prevalent and prominent and pertinent information. Head on over to the Discord. So again, we got some NBA tomorrow. The final of the play-in series games happen tomorrow. We'll have a final official bracket set by tomorrow night, late night. So tomorrow we'll make our official NBA playoff picks. We'll pick some games. We'll pick some series. We'll pick maybe some MVPs and Rookie of the Years and stuff. All the hardware they got to give out this year. And of course, if anything pops in any of the other sports, we will fill you in on that, including Jake Paul and Nate Diaz fighting.
Yes.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah.
You think it happens?
Yeah.
I talked to Tommy D, and he's like, it's August. A lot can happen with a Diaz-Paul fight between now and August. That's the truth, though.
It's like,
I thought for sure they were going to do the MMA.
it's like a not dangerous fight for either one of them, because Nate doesn't have like crazy punching power. He's a volume guy. And Jake Paul, we seen last time, is like he can't really box.
Oh, is that right? Is that crazy when he goes against another boxer? That's unreal. I thought for sure they'd do the MMA thing, though. Get in the cage.
Really?
Why
Do you really
not?
think that Jake Paul's going to get
Did Jake Paul sign with the PFL as if he was going to be this next MMA darling? Right, exactly.
Nate Diaz doesn't fight for PFL, though.
Nate Diaz fights for himself.
Nate also said that he's going to go kick Jake Paul's ass and then go get his UFC belts. So he's like, I'm going back to the UFC, which I would be down for.
Of course
sure.
you would be. You're a fanboy. It's all good.
It's been my privilege to be here with you guys today.
For Dave Sturchio, and Chris Gueci, just remember out there, if you're watching us right now, pressure is privilege.
Privilege.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.